Good morning. It is Friday, May 29th, and we're going to continue with patterns today. So please go ahead and take out your packet and turn to today's date, May 29th. And I'll share my screen. Now, today I'll go over two problems with you, and you're going to have four problems to do independently on your own. I'll go over those problems with you, but you're going to work those last four problems out. And when you finish, you're going to put your answers in Kahoot. So make sure you work your problems out first, and then you go to Kahoots. So let's begin by looking at our first problem. It reads, Ricky read 15 pages from a novel each day for 5 days. At the end of each day, he noted the total number of pages he had read. Which pattern shows his list of daily totals? Okay, so I'm going to let you cube that problem. Go ahead and cube that problem. Okay, so our big question is, which pattern shows his list of daily totals? Now, there are some things given in this problem that's going to help us to answer this big question. It tells us that he read 15 pages from the novel each day and that he did this for 5 days. So let's begin by drawing us a T-chart. And I'm sure you use these in reading a lot. So on one side, we'll put the day. And on the other side of the T-chart, we'll put the pages. Okay, so I'll pause and let you catch up. All right, so it tells us each day that he reads 15 pages. So we know for day one, we know he read exactly 15 pages. Okay, so it said read 15 pages of a novel each day. So day one, he read 15 pages. He did this for 5 days. So now my job is to figure out what he did for day two. So I'm going to take day one, which is 15. And remember, he read 15 pages every day. So I'm going to add 15 to it. And I'll pause and let you figure out what that is, 15 plus 15. Okay, so 5 plus 5 we know is 10. Down at 0, but I plus 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3. Okay, so that tells us for day two, he had read 30 pages. Okay, now remember each day he reads 15 pages and he does this for 5 days. So now we know day two, he read 30 pages. So we're going to take day two, add another 15 to that, and that'll tell us day three's total. So add the 15 to it. And I'll pause and let you figure that out. All right, so day three we know would be, you're exactly right, 45. So day three, he's read 45 pages. Okay, now we're going to take day three's total, 45, and we're going to add 15 to it. So I'll pause and let you do that. So now you're going to add 15 to it. And when you finish, that'll give you day four's total. And you're exactly right. 15 plus 45 gives us a total of 60. 5 plus 5 is 10. 4 plus 2 gives us 6. So we're going to put 60. All right, so we'll put day 4's total. Remember, we got to do this one last time. So now we need to add 15 more. And this will be our final total. Okay, go ahead and add them. And this will be day 5. Okay, so when we add them up, we get 75. Okay, now let's go back to our big question. Which pattern shows the list of daily totals? We know we read 15 pages each day for 5 days. Here are 5 days. Day 1 was 15. 15 more makes it 30. 15 more makes it 45. 15 more makes it 60. 15 more makes it 75. So we're going to take our pages that we have here and see which one of these answer choices is the exact same. Okay, so when we look at the first one, A has 15 and it has 20. Well, we're looking for 15 and 30. So A is out. B is out. C has 15 and 25. So D has 15, 30, 45, 60, and 75. So that would be our answer. So that's going to be the problem that we serve. So I'll pause right there and let you catch up. If you need additional time, just pause the video. Okay, now let's go to our next problem. It says the table shows the areas of triangles that differ in height and have the same base. What is the area of a triangle with a height of 12? So let's go ahead and underline our big question. And we're going to box in height of 12. All right, let's look at what's given. Here we have a T-chart, and it's labeled triangles. On the left, it gives the height of the triangles. On the right, it gives the area. So this particular triangle has a height of 15 and an area of 75. This particular triangle has a height of 18 and an area of 90. This one has a height of 25 and an area of 125. This one has a height of 28 and an area of 140. Now remember, my job is to figure out what is the area of the triangle that has a height of 12. But look, the first one that's given is 15. So whatever goes here is going to be less than 75. So my answer has to be less than 75. Okay? Now let's figure out the relationship that these numbers have with each other. So when I look at the height of this triangle and the area of this triangle, what is the relationship of 15 and 75? There's some type of relationship that they have. I know that 15 is less than 75, but 75 is greater. How much greater is 75 than 15? Okay, well, let's try this. Let's say we take 75 and subtract 15. 5, 0, 60. Okay, so that means a pattern of 60. So let's take the next one, 90, and subtract 18. See if we get the same pattern. This would be 8, 15, that would be 2. So our answer would be 72. So I got 60, 72. Is there any relationship, any pattern seen here? No, no pattern seen so far. So no, that wouldn't be the way to do it. So let's erase that. So now let's look again. We have 15 and we have 75. What is the relationship? How much more is 75 than 15? We try subtracting. This time let's try dividing and see what we get. 75 divided by 15. I know gives me 5. 5 times 15 is 75. All right, let's try 90 divided by 18, okay? Let's try 5. 5 times 8 gives me 40. 5 times, yep, 90. Okay, so far I've gotten the same quotient for each one. Let's take 125 and divide it by 25. I know there are 4 quarters in 100, so 5 would make 125. Okay, so there is a commonality. So here, 15 and 5 makes 75. So 15 times 5 gives me 75. 18 times 5 gives me 90. 25 times 5 gives me 125. And if I continue on, 28 times 5 will give me 140. So now, I figured out what my rule is. So now I know the rule. I know the common thing that they all have in common. So when I look at here, let's put our rule. So we times 15 times 5, and we got the 75. The 15, I'm sorry, the 18 times 5 gives us 90. The 25 times 5 is 125. And the 28 times 5 does give us the 140. So our rule is times 5. That's our rule. Is multiply by 5. Okay? So now, what is the area of the triangle with a height of 12? So if 12 was over here, then I would have to take 12 and times it by 5. So you do that part. So I'm going to pause and let you do that portion. Okay, so 5 times 2 we know is 10. So put down our 0 and carry out 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. So if a triangle has a height of 12, then the area would be 60. So our answer would be D. So remember, the first thing you have to do is figure out a rule. When they give you a table like this, find a relationship of the numbers. And so we notice that if we multiply height by 5, we will get our area each time. So in order, once we found our rule, this was our rule, we took our rule and times it by the height of 12, and that gave us the area of 60, and that's how we got the answer there. Okay. All right, now the next 4 problems are problems that you're going to have to work out on your own. These are problems these are your you-dos. These are the problems that you're going to put into your Kahoots. I would advise you to do these problems on paper first before even going to Kahoots. So let's look at your first problem. Your first problem is 246, 266, 286, 306, 326. It says, if the pattern continues, what will the next number be? So you're looking for a number that's going to go right after 326. But you have to first figure out what's the pattern. What is the pattern between 246, 266? Is it the same pattern 266 to 286? Is the same pattern for 286 to 306? Is it the same pattern for 306 to 326? And whatever you find as your rule, you have to apply it to 326 to get your next number. So you got to have that next number, okay? All right, so if you need to pause this and work it out before going on to the next one, then do so. Okay. Your next problem says Diego started with $7 in his piggy bank. He saved 2 more each week for the next 3 weeks. Which table shows the amount of money Diego had in his piggy bank over time? Okay, we know he started with the $7. So remember, he has start and day, and it has the amount. So you look for the ones that have a start of $7 If it doesn't have a start of $7, get rid of it. Then it says he saved two more. Two more is telling you to what? Add. You're exactly right. So you would add 7 plus 2 more. And that'll give you week 1. 7 plus 2 more gives you week 1. And whatever you get for week 1, add 2 more to it. That gives you week 2. Whatever you get for week 2, add 2 more to it, and that gives you week 3. And you figure out which one has the best answer, okay, from your following your pattern, okay? Make sure you work it out before you decide. All right, you need additional time, just pause. Your next problem says, Caleb is building a pyramid with cans. The first row has 28 cans. The second row has 25 cans. The third row has 22 cans. It says, if the pattern continues, how many cans will be in the seventh row? So remember, you're trying to figure out what goes here. But in order to do that, you have to look at what's given. You're given the first 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. 1 we know is 28. 2 is 25. So are your numbers getting bigger or smaller? And it goes down to 22. They are decreasing, so which means you're going to subtract something. And whatever you subtract from here to get here, you have to subtract here to get here. And once you get the third row, you subtract, put your answer on the fourth row. Subtract again, that becomes your fifth row. Subtract again, that becomes your sixth row. And then finally subtract from your sixth row to get your seventh answer. So remember, you're looking for the row 7. Okay? You still have to find 4, 5, and 6 before you get to 7. So make sure you pay attention to that. All right, your last and final question says Marcus collects cans to donate. He collects 4 in January, 8 in February, 16 in March, 32 in April, 64 in May. If he collects cans in the same pattern like he did here, how many cans will he collect in June? Look, January, February, March, April, May. So you just have to figure out what comes next. So look at your numbers, figure out what the pattern is, what was done to 4 to get 8. Find your rule. So find your rule, and once you figure out your rule, then you use your rule to figure out what would be the answer for June. So notice that each month is dependent upon the prior month before. Okay? So those are your 4 questions. Make sure that you answer your questions on paper first. Make sure you are looking for your rule and your patterns. Make sure you're writing everything down. Then go to Kahoots and put your information in there. Make sure you only go to Kahoots one time. Please put your first and last name in Kahoots. And you guys, take your time. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.